exceptionally long time since I've made a video. I apologize for that, but I'm going to be trying to make a few. I have a few ideas in the works, so today what I want to talk about is something that it's a bit of a taboo subject. Not many people speak about it, I think out of fear, but I don't care. I'm going to talk about the empath and the sociopath and those relationships and how they magnetize towards each other. So if you've seen in my earlier videos, you know an empathic person is somebody that feels, senses the emotions, the pains of other people. So empaths are like, they're like the healers. They always find almost the wounded warriors and try and fix them, and they always put other people before themselves. They're always trying to help other people, and they put themselves on the back burner. A sociopath is a person that lacks any morale. They do not have consequence. They don't fear consequence. They fear nothing. They have no emotions. They see things as power. Life is a game of chess, and they have no remorse. People like Jeffrey Dahmer was a sociopath. Ted Bundy was a sociopath. Not all of them are murderers or those extreme cases, but majority of them are highly abusive and highly toxic and master manipulators of this world, and we basically live amongst these people and have no idea because they're the most charming people you will ever meet in your entire life, because their life is playing people and manipulating them to get what they want and power. Most of the time the sociopath is a narcissist, and a narcissist is somebody that thinks that they, above everything else, deserve everything. They're entitled to everything. They will do anything they can. They will hurt anyone they can to get what they want in this life. So it's basically a monster. You have somebody that thinks that they are the most important thing that's ever lived, and they have no real feelings. So you can imagine how somebody that needs power would go for somebody that just wants to help and heal people. They attract, and there's nothing anyone could really do about it, aside from maybe know the warning signs. I make this video not coming from a bitter place. I don't make this video for attention. I don't make this video because I'm trying to make anyone look bad. I make this because I want people to know there is a way out, know the warning signs, know what you're in, and possible ways of getting out of it maybe before it's too late, because in extreme cases sociopaths have been known to kill their partners because they have not gotten what they wanted. It's most domestic violence cases come because it is a sociopath. Looking at even the Christy Mack story, the adult entertainer, and her ex war machine or war I don't fucking know. But he basically almost killed her, and he had zero remorse about it, and she comes out and she says, he had always held some type of control over me, and I lived in fear of my life, and eventually it did come true. So this is just a video of hope. So the way that the sociopath basically works is they will either find you to go on a date with, or they'll have known you for a long period of time, and in that period of time they're assessing you. So what they're doing is they are reading your body language, they are reading your eyes, they're figuring out your insecurities, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. You think it's somebody that is truly caring about you and your life and your family and the things that you're passionate about, but what they're actually doing is they're learning everything that later in turn they can build you up with and then break you down with. They will use all this and they will charm the shit out of you. They will buy you pretty much anything you want. You don't even have to want anything. You could just show interest in something, and they'll do everything they can to be the most charming person you've ever met. You will never feel as in love with someone, or as someone is in love with you, as you will with this person. And they know what they're doing. They're doing this on purpose. Most cases with a sociopath is you will always think to yourself, this is too good to be true, and I promise you it is. It's not right. And I feel like I do have to say, just in this video, because a lot of people, I mean me myself, I spent a lot of time on the internet looking up sociopaths and what they do, and because that word would always click in my head. I knew that I was being abused. I knew that something wasn't right, and I would always find a loophole in things I was saying. I would always be like, oh, but he doesn't do that. So I feel like I want to say, you're going to try to find the loopholes, you're going to try to find an excuse as to why you don't have to leave somebody, or you're going to try to find an excuse as to why they are not actually this way, so because you're so scared to leave. But if you can identify with even a few of the things I said, you're in more trouble than if you're watching this, you know you are, or you're just interested. So, like I said, they will charm you. They'll figure you out. They'll figure out everything about you. Within a week to 2 weeks, it'll fly, and you'll feel like you are completely in love with this person. They will tell you they've never met someone like you before. You're their soulmate. They have never felt the connection. They dreamed of you. They didn't know someone like you was possible. You're the most important thing that's ever happened to them. And with that, they'll badmouth their ex. A lot of the times they cheat on an ex with you because they're finished with that person. They no longer offer what they need. They can't fuel off of them anymore because that person is basically, it's the battery ran out. They can't fulfill the sociopath's needs anymore. So they cheat, or they wait because they don't like their image to be ruined. So they'll tell you all about the ex. The ex ruined their life. The ex was the worst person they've ever met. Just didn't understand them. They stayed with them because they felt bad for them. They had all these issues. I promise you that's not true. I promise you the ex is sitting in a house somewhere scared for her fucking life. Or she is still finding ways to get over this person or trying to heal from this person. Because when the relationship with this person is over, it's you don't even know what to do. You don't know what to feel. It's like you feel like your life has just flashed before your eyes, and you don't know who you are anymore because this person has robbed you of the person you thought you were even. As they're learning about you and telling you you're the best thing that's ever happened to them, they're gonna move quick. You will be their girlfriend or boyfriend like that. They do not take time rushing into a relationship because that's how they're getting power over you. There's going to be about a 4-month period where everything is perfect. They are on their best behavior. Everything with this person is like out of a movie. You think you've met the one. You wonder what did I do to deserve such an amazing person? But you think you're in heaven, but you're actually about to live through the most destructive period of hell of your entire life if you choose to continue to stay with this person. I think we all always know something's off. I always knew there was something wrong. I always knew that there was something off, but I don't think I ever wanted to admit it to myself because I just thought that someone really loved me and cared about me. And I think that's the scary part, and that was something I had to work on. But they use their eyes a lot. You look into these people's eyes, there's nothing there. There's no life, there's no soul, and you don't really pick up on that till after. What I had experienced was somebody that they use eyes as a way to control. So they will stare into your eyes because it's a way of like mesmerizing you. What I used to get was they would stare into my eyes for long periods of time and not look away, and I was like, why are you doing that? And he would say, oh, you're just the most beautiful girl I've ever met. I'm so in love with you. I can't not look at you like this. the time, I thought it was a little weird, but I also kind of thought it was sweet, and I thought he was just old, and that's the way that, it was, that was just something he did. I don't know. But what comes next after the 4-month, 5-month period, like I said, they're gonna move quick. You're gonna be living with this person. The sociopath always plays victim. Nothing is ever their fault in their entire life, ever. It's always somebody else's fault. They will never take responsibility for something, and they will never say, I'm sorry. That's not a real thing to them. There was one instance where I had said, I was like, hey, listen, like, I was trying to work with this person, and I was taking responsibility for something that I didn't even do. I just wanted to, like, smooth the argument over. And I said, why don't we both apologize to one another? Because we both overreacted a little bit, and he said, I have nothing to apologize for. I did nothing wrong. It is all your fault, and you are the reason that I act the way that I do. What they've been doing is basically, like I said, they're figuring you out, and they mirror your personality. They become everything you've ever wanted. A lot of the times they'll use tools, like they'll send you your astrology sign compatibility, and they'll be like, look, we're perfect for one another. Or they'll say everything that you've ever wanted to hear. They'll pull past relationships out of you and figure out what that person did wrong that pissed you off, so they know to be the complete opposite of it. Like I said, they're master manipulators, and during this time where you think you're falling in love and this is everything you've ever wanted, this is actually the beginning of their sick, twisted game. By the time you're living with them, they're going to be playing house. They're going to be like, oh, cook me dinner, let's do this together, we'll go shopping for furniture together, let's do our bedroom together. You really think, and people find it a little weird that you're moving so quickly with somebody, but to you, it's, you know what it is, and you know how real it is, and you know that this person really loves you. They will not go out of their way to ever meet your friends, and if they do, if they meet your friends and your family, they put on their best face. They put on the biggest charm act of their entire life, because later, when you start telling your friends what they're doing to you, they're going to be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I was around him or her, they were amazing, they were so charming. That's part of their act too. That is part of what they do. As you may be living with them, you may not be living with them, but what they're going to start doing is they're going to start gaslighting you. What gaslighting is messing with the perception of your reality. So you perceive things to be one way and they used to completely agree with, but now they're going to tell you it's wrong. Or you're going to say to them, like, oh, remember you said that the other day? And they're going to be like, I never said that. And they are going to convince you that you're crazy. That is how they're starting to make you lose yourself and lose your mind and lose your self-worth. And it's going to happen every so often, so it's just going to put you back a little bit. You're going to be like, wait, no, maybe I didn't say that. They're going to do it just enough and just a little bit of amount that they can progressively move it up more to the point where you don't know what's real and what's not anymore, and everything that this person says is basically true. Around this time, you're going to find yourself wondering what happened to the man that was so attentive and agreed with everything you said and wanted the same things as you. And he'll give you that person every now and then just so you don't leave them yet and they could have power over you. They're going to start withholding affection, which is emotional abuse, but this whole thing is abusive, so, where they used to hold your hand all the time and kiss you goodnight and say all these sweet things, they'll stop doing it. They'll stop holding your hand and you're going to say, what's wrong? Like, you always used to do this. And part of the gaslighting, they're going to tell you, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. So you start to think you're actually crazy. Dating a sociopath, you're actually, for a period of time, going to think you've lost your mind. You are going to not understand what your own reality is. You're not going to perceive reality in the correct way, because this person is basically setting up your reality for you. The charm act with the friends, actually, story I have, is I was at my house that I shared with this person, and one of my closest friends came over, and with a sociopath, you're not really allowed to have friends. They start telling you that any male friend you have, you're cheating on them with, and any female friend isn't your real friend, and they're jealous of you, and they're not good for you. I had a female friend come over, a very good friend. I said we were going out, and he put on his best charm act in front of her. He was funny, he was charismatic, and I hadn't seen that person in quite a bit. She went upstairs to go to the bathroom, and he said to me, he goes, did you actually clean the floor? And I was like, yeah, I mopped it, I vacuumed it. And he goes, no, you didn't. And I was like, no, I did. He goes, it's okay. You're a liar, and I know you are, so it's okay that you didn't. I'll just take care of it. My friend had walked downstairs and heard that. And we leave the house, and she said to me, she was like, what was that? I was like, oh, that's just, and I found myself, I was making excuses for him, because when you're in this period of gaslighting and them being this person to you, you just want to know what happened to the person you were with for the first 4 months. So you blame yourself. You think you're doing something wrong, and that is exactly what they want. That is exactly what they need, because your self-confidence is shooting down so much that they're going to have complete control over you. They are going to convince you that your friends are evil. They're going to convince you that your family doesn't actually care about you. They may move you so far away from your friends and family that you don't see them for years. That's the plan. They isolate you. The isolation phase. They have to isolate you from everything you've ever known. Because when you're around the people that you love and people that care about you, you're yourself again, and you gain your confidence again, and they can't have that. They can't have you be around people that you feel okay around, because they need you basically broken for them. So you're living to serve them. You're living to do everything you can to please this person. And I feel like I need to say, if you're at this point of this video, you have never been a person to them. You have only ever been an object. You have only ever been an object of control, to abuse, to degrade, to have power over. You have never been seen as a person. But it also has never been your fault. Another way that they have control over you is you'll experience a lot of sexual abuse. The way that they have power over you is sex. It's a sexual thing. And if you are not giving it to them, they are getting it elsewhere. I think 2 months into my relationship, I was getting cheated on if I went home to go see my family. Or they'll dominate power over you. You have to be doing that with this person, because that is how they control you, and that is how they kind of renew their source. They basically feed off of you. You are basically like if you've ever watched True Blood, they're basically the vampire, and you are basically like Sookie Stackhouse, how they're so enamored by her, and they feed off of her blood, and they get this high. It's fucked up, but you're like a source for them to feed off of. A sociopath will always know when you're starting to pull away a little bit, or you're getting a little too weird about the way they've been acting, so they'll show their face again to you. They will be the person that you wanted, and you think, oh, he's back and everything's wonderful. And this is another tactic to confuse you. Many sociopaths purposely get someone pregnant in order to keep control over them. And then they have almost little to nothing to do with the actual children. That's another way to really assess somebody. If somebody has children and they only see them once a year, that's probably a bad sign. Little things that the sociopath will do, and when I read this, I picked up on it. It was definitely something that resonated with me. They either say, I love you a lot, or they ask if you love them. There will be periods and they'll say, do you love me? Or I love you. They're not saying it in a cute way. They're not saying it because they love you. They're saying it because that's how they know they have control over you. When you say I love you back to a sociopath, that's them knowing that they still have a form of control over you. When they say, do you love me? They're basically saying, do I have power over you? The sociopath will get to a point where everything you do is wrong. They'll constantly accuse you of cheating. You could go to 7-Eleven to get coffee, and they will convince you that you have just met up with somebody because they can't trust you, because you leave the house or do this or get your nails done. That's another way that they control you, because they need you to think that you're not acting in the best light, you're not on your best behavior, so you're working even harder to please this person. But what's actually happening is they're cheating on you. I promise you, if you are in a sociopathic relationship and you think you're not being cheated on by at least 4 people, you're crazy. When you complain to a sociopath, or you tell them that you're not happy with something and you stand up for yourself, most of the time they'll say to you, well, you know what, maybe we're not meant to be. Like, I think I was wrong about you. Like, I don't think we're meant to be the way that I thought we were. And so that is putting it back on you. And you're like, wait, it was my fault. Like, oh my God, I should have just stayed quiet. I should just accept them. And that's another thing they do. They'll say, why can't you just accept me for who I am? I'm just a person. They'll blame childhood a lot of the time. They'll blame their exes a lot of the time. Everything is always somebody else's fault. It's never their own fault. Every now and then, when a sociopath is mad enough, you'll be able to see the real person come out. Like, a lot of them like to put on an act for the world, so they could act like they're the most positive person that's ever existed, and they're all about positive energy and karma and love and all that, and they'll have you fooled thinking you're that they are that way. And then behind closed doors, if they don't get what they want, they'll throw shit, or they'll have temper tantrums, or talk about ruining someone's life. And you're like, who is this person? I've never met this person, but that's the real person. I think one of my favorite quotes is, when somebody shows you who they are for the first time, believe them. It doesn't take very much to put on an act for people. But not many people could hold it up. And after about 6 months of dating a sociopath, that act cannot be held up anymore. Sociopaths will lie about a lot of things, to the point where it's weird why they would lie about certain things. They'll tell you one story and then a few months later it'll completely change, and you're like, wait, no, you said it was this, and they'll be like, no, I didn't. It's like the gaslighting, but they don't protect themselves later on. It's basically just they're lying, and you are abused enough mentally to think that that you are crazy and they are telling the truth. A lot of the times the sociopaths will compare you to their ex. If you're not acting the way that they want, they'll be like, oh, well, she or he used to do that. Like, why can't you do that? You could be the skinniest person alive. They'll find a way to call you fat. You could be the prettiest person, and they'll call you ugly, because they need to abuse you. They need to have you to such a low point that they can control your every move and to make sure you will never leave them. Everything that the sociopath once claimed that they loved about you and they thought was special about you, they need to start degrading. Like if you're passionate about something and they were so encouraging and love that aspect of you, they're going to start putting it down because you cannot be confident about anything anymore. You could be really into art and really love drawing, and they could say, I love your art, you're beautiful at drawing, and then a few months later they'll tell you, you know what, you're really not that good. They need to do everything they can to make you hate yourself. They try, or they try to put you to such a state of emotional vulnerability that you just give up fighting and you lose all sense of your own identity. You are no longer your own person. You are no longer who you are. You have become their property, exactly who they wanted you to be. They want you to not have confidence. They want you to not have family. They want you to cry. They like seeing you upset. They like seeing you frustrated because they know that they're winning. They actually get off on that. A lot of the times when you think you may leave the sociopath and they see signs of it, they'll pick up on it. They will know. You're gonna get a lot of suicide threats. You're gonna get the charm act because they don't want to lose you. It's gonna be, oh, let's start over. I'm so in love with you. They're gonna do everything they can to keep you there, and a lot of the times you could fall for it. They'll beg, they'll stalk, they'll go through your stuff, they'll swear it's another man, they will message other men that you're friends with, they will go after whoever they can, because they need that control over you. A part of you is going to think it's because they really care about you and they need you there, and they'll say, I'm sorry I acted the way that I did, I didn't realize that I was being that way towards you. And a lot of you may think it's because they care and they just don't know how to show it. And like I said, they'll blame their childhood. Oh, my mother was abusive. Oh, my father beat me. But they actually just don't want to lose control of you. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video on the sociopath and the empath. I try and make as many posts on Instagram as I can about that subject just because it's obviously something very sensitive and close to my heart. I hope it was informative. You can honestly probably look up information anywhere. There's a lot of sources on the internet. You could just Google traits of a sociopath, and you can probably find really good information. I just took a bit of using my own story and felt like that could really help give my personal scenarios of things that other people may have experienced with somebody, just because I've experienced it firsthand. My email is always open. It's loveandlight444@yahoo.com, and my Instagram is ALXMRCH. I hope you guys have the best day, and that's it. Have a great day. I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Because their soul is actually black, and they're basically the Antichrist.